Hello, Patriots. It's Patriot 5 and Patriot 6. We're running a little late tonight. So, since no one's on, I'm going to go ahead and say the pledge, play the music, and then I'll be back. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I'm going to show us on TikTok. And the person, for all my life, and I had to start again. Just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. We don't have one. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the man who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt that's love is land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. Always, but I say that was it actually considered for freedom of the one people? Not for the revolution, right? From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave their right to me, and I'd rather stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. You got this guy, come on, because he just like, it's probably going to start this on the 30 minutes. Because we got around the room. Next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless. So there was 33 pictures in my top. Oh, and it's filled up. Here we have 30 people. Thank you, everyone. Jeffrey and Janet, Linda and Jeffrey and Janet again, Myrna and Papa G and Linda again, Janet and Jeffrey and Myrna. Bill Woods is here. Stephanie is here. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. I'm running a little late tonight. I apologize for it, but I was hungry and I didn't feel like waiting until 8 or 8:30 to eat. So I decided to make supper. A little bit early tonight. This way I can have some popcorn, because I think popcorn is something we're going to need here real soon. You know, there's so many jokes going around about popcorn. But see, people say, I'm tired of popcorn. I'm tired of popcorn. When I was a kid, we ate popcorn 7 days a week. And you know what's funny? How if I was to go to my daughter's house, and I was to look at my grandson or my granddaughter and say, go make some popcorn. They'd go. They'd complain about it first because they had to get up. But they'd go because they love their grandpa, their papa. And they'd make some popcorn and they'd bring me a bag back. And I said, this isn't popcorn. Microwave popcorn is not popcorn. Popcorn is some that you buy. You buy for a nickel. Maybe a dime a pound back when we were a kid. A dime a pound was really expensive popcorn. It's really expensive back then, you know. And the man that we bought it for, the man that we bought this popcorn from, I'm telling you, when we would go over there to buy a pound of popcorn, when it went up to a dime, and that was almost unheard of, a dime for a pound of popcorn. But when we would go up there and all of this would happen, his wife would be yelling, "Oh my goodness, John, give them a couple of pounds. Well, you don't need it. A dime is a dime." And she gets so mad at him. We'd love it when this had happened because me and Ron or me and Russ or whoever it was, we would go. And when she'd get mad at him, then she had homemade baked cookies or donuts that she made, something. And she would give us a treat. So we not only got the popcorn, but it was only 1 pound of one kernel over it. He'd take that kernel out and make sure. But it was, you know, people, the kids don't see this today. And I wanted to tell the story for the kids because when I was a kid growing up, we used to fight over who got to make the popcorn. It was fun to make the popcorn. And my mom had a big old tub like this, and we would make that full every night. We had popcorn every night when we watched TV together as a family. Kids, how many of you here watch TV with your mom and dad? How many of you just go up to your bedroom and watch it on your computer or your phone? Or maybe you got your own TV in your room. The other day I was over at my granddaughter's house, the little monkey, and she disappeared on me. And I said to my daughter, Amber, I said, "Where's the little monkey? Where's Addison?" "I don't know." So I went to the stairs and I yelled upstairs and I said, "Addison, what are you doing up there?" She said, "Well, Ella wouldn't let me watch my cartoons." So I went to Ella's room and I'm watching TV in her room. Why? When I was Addison's age, we didn't even have a TV yet. I think we got it when I was 5 or 6 years old. We got our first TV. But it didn't matter. I can remember growing up playing games, Monopoly and Sorry and games like that with the family. We sit down to supper every night together as a family. Kids, how many of you are willing to set the table? And then after supper, pick up the dishes and wash them because you can't until the chores are done. You can't go outside and play. How many of us are willing to sit down with your mom and your dad? How many mom and dads take the time to sit down to supper with your kids? And kids, that's why I want to see things change so you can experience this. When I was listening to a video the other day, and I played, a matter of fact, on my TikTok, I put a couple pictures up there, and then they put either music or words to what they think is good. And one of them I put up there, couple of the pictures I put up there, what it says is, we the people now, we're living in an era that's uncharted. It's uncharted that the kids will never understand what we went through because we lived before computers. We lived before cell phones. We lived when you picked up a home phone and you called your best friend, or you wanted to call your girlfriend, or your girlfriend wanted to call her boyfriend, whatever it was. We had Party Line, and we could literally get most of the town on top, all the kids. That was our fun. You can't go out and play. It's raining. So
privacy, you went to a phone booth.
We'd get on phone. As Ron says, if you wanted privacy in the little town of Buckingham, we had a phone booth. I always took pictures. I always thought I would see Superman change in there, but he never did. Clark Kent, never once, kids, did Clark Kent come to Buckingham and change. But there's another thing. You want to go on a vacation? Get your parents to take you to Metropolis, Illinois. Get your parents to go there and just walk around it. It's amazing to go and see all the historic things about Superman there. Now it's Mama, Papa, do, Papa, do, Bobby, baby shark, do, baby shark. You know, it's that stuff. Oh my! And I was talking to John. You know, hey Boogs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie. I was talking to your grandpa the other day, and we got talking about music that sticks in your head. And I sang a song. God, John, are you on here yet? What song did I sing? But I did. And he said, oh, Ralph, that's in my head all the time because it's always playing on the TV. And then I walk into my house later on. I come in, and little Kira's in there. Baby shark, do-do-do-do. And then she starts singing it. And I'm laying in bed the other morning, and she gets in an argument with small Hank, and she has to come in and tell Grandpa that JJ, because that's what she calls him, JJ, he did this to me, Grandpa, get up and spank him. And then she starts singing Baby Shark to me. But there's been some times with Patriot Super Gymnast and Patriot 7, sometimes with some other one, the rest of my grandkids, that I get them to sit down and watch the Jetsons. I get them to sit down and watch the Cat and the Mouse. Why does that cat not like that mouse? Addison will ask me. The Cat and the Mouse. They can't even let us have the own names of the cartoons that we grew up there. It's a Cat and the Mouse.
Don't
And
get the cow seals song in your head. But the rain.
yeah, and as Ron said, a song you don't want to get in your head is, I saw her sitting in the rain, raindrops falling on her. Oh. I mean, there's music. Our music, you can get stuck in your head. And then you got Taylor Swift. Everybody loves Taylor Swift. Did you see how pathetic? Did you see anybody here? Kids, Bill Woods, Richard, Janet, was you able to watch the Bears play the Kansas City Chiefs Friday night? The Kansas City Chiefs are so pathetic. They want so much attention. They had a fake Taylor Swift sitting in her booth. And they kept 17 times they showed her. And even the announcer says, that's not her. That's not her. And you could tell it wasn't her. She was about 2.5, 3 inches shorter. I'll give Taylor Swift credit. She has a charming smile, but she sells her movie. How's that song say? Shake, 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 shake your booty. And that's how she sells. But the kids love her. And you know what? I'm glad, because at least with music, they get away from things. Do I want to go to a Taylor Swift concert? No. And if I haven't told you yet, no. Will I go to a Taylor Swift concert when this happens? Yes. And yes again, because my granddaughter, this gymnast, wants to see her. I like entertainers that sing real music. If John was here, he'd vouch for me. You can't get the music of the 50s and 60s. And when I say the 50s, guys, I was born in 54. I don't really remember the music, the 50s music, but boy, I can remember the 60s. Because see, where we lived with the greatest rock and roll radio station. Radio, a radio, sometimes our radios with transistors would only be about that big.
Tony says Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry. That's the Cat and the Mouse. Thank you. That's who I was trying to think of. Thank you. But yeah, my granddaughter, little monkey, she calls it the Cat and the Mouse, not Tom and Jerry. But why does that kitty cat not like that mouse? Well, that mouse is always picking on the kitty cat. And then if you go on this station here, they have so many videos of animals. Look, there's a lady the other day, and she's running, she's scooting, she's booking. Kids, you got to see this video. She is just moving as fast as she can. And she gets to the bathroom, and she thought, oh, I made it. And then the kitty cat is sitting on there reading the newspaper. And she's going like this to the cat. Come on. And the cat just going. And they're so cute. Things like that I love. Cute things like that I love, pretty much every day, Super Jimmy puts up an emoji. I believe it's Lionel Richie singing a song, and that's good. The emojis out there are amazing. I'm going to tell you, if Mary Ann was on here, as far as the people I know, Mary Ann is the queen of emojis. She has me and she has Ron sometimes laughing so hard, sending emojis when Bruce and the little call is on. And that's how we've renamed it. I wanted to name it Bruce and the Tiny Call. Our Sue and her boys, you call, because it's all about Sue. She'll sell you a pack. Sue reminds me of when I was growing up. Stephanie and Papa G. Papa G, I know you're going to remember it. Well, maybe not because it was a Chicago thing. But anybody who lives in the Chicago area growing up, Earl Shives, I'll paint any vehicle, $29.95. Any vehicle, $29.95. And that's what, these commercials, you don't see commercials like that anymore. Now kids, we tell you, don't watch the news. Don't watch the mainstream media news because they're nothing but, I can't say what I want to say because I got a strike yesterday on TikTok because I said something about something I didn't know I couldn't say. And the reason I didn't know I couldn't say it was because the night before I got in an argument with 3 different people on 3 different shows on TikTok. But when I proved them I was right and they was wrong, they kicked me off of their thing. But they got to keep talking about it. And I just happened to say something. And they give me a strike. I apologized. I said, I didn't even say it on my video because I've had so many people, why does video good? They want you to give up to like 200 words to get a better people coming in. So I always talk about patriotism. Well, I happen to say something about 2020 and what we know happened. Now, Janet, Ron, Vicky, you know what happened. Myrna, you know what happened in 2020. And we know it's real and we know it's true. And it's been announced. But they're waiting for these people, these brothers, Brunson brothers, for their case to be up. What the heck is going on? Do you realize if someone goes out and does something really, really bad and they should be put in jail for a long time? Do you realize they went through 2 impeachments of the hat faster than they can go through the Brunson brothers case? How many times have we been told, kids, because I'm calling on you. How many times, Patriot Princess, Patriot Hunter, what about it, Patriot 11? How many times have we been told that we're going to hear about the Brunson brothers' decision tomorrow? And what do you think? How many times do you think we've been told? Jamie, what about you? See how I'm working everybody in by asking you questions? Because I just keep waiting. I'm starting to wonder if the Brunson brothers are really, really real. And then I got some people going again. And I says to them, what do you think? What do you think's going to happen? Kids, you know who some of my favorite performers are? Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and a Big Bopper. Now, they supposedly died. They supposedly died on February 3rd, 1959. The reason I can remember that so much is because, it was so late at night, they didn't announce it until February 4th, 1959. That was not my best birthday present ever, because that would have been my 5th birthday. But Steve, even back then, I can remember them singing because we had 890 WLS radio. Who needed a TV back then? Man, we could go to bed. We could put our radio under our pillow and we could listen to music all night long because the greatest rock and roll radio station ever. And I know people on here, Bill and Mike and I know Ron will agree with me. Missouri girl, good to see you here. I hit your thumb. No, my thumbs are okay. And that's another thing that amazes me. When talk about thumbs, man, you people, you do all your typing on your phones with your thumbs. Man, I got to do. So I rectified it. The better way than to just poke and hope is just use voice activation. What? Yeah, Ron's wondering how you fight, because my thumbs are so darn fat. Man, if I would send a message with my thumbs the way you guys do it, Man, it would say, and you know, and that's what it is. But kids, I think I pretty much worked every kid into here. Nope, I haven't worked Karate Kid. I haven't worked Karate Kid and Wyatt Earp in. And how can I forget them? Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Karate Kid, I always look I. And I'm always using that. I'm always using that because truthfully, Patriot Small Hank, I'm about ready to start calling Patriot Martial Arts because the kid loves it. And I'm telling you, when it comes, everybody that knows me knows my love for baseball. And with this love for baseball, I always thought, man, my son, he's going to be a tremendous ball player. He is. He's going to follow in his dad's footsteps. He's going to be and then when I seen him growing, and he didn't stop with me, when you get to 5 feet nothing like I was, and he just kept going and going. I'm thinking, oh, a power hitter. And I said, oh, if he could only have his dad's speed. Because I think when he was in high school, which would have been 22 years ago, would have put me at like 59. I think I was still faster than him. The legs have won a little bit now, but remember the special beds, kids. And with them special beds, that means we're going to be able to run fast again. But, Patriot Small Hank, I mean, he's a kid that I always thought, well, I got his dad to be a pretty good ball player, but he was a left-hander, which until Patriot Small Hank ended a string. My dad was the firstborn son to my grandpa. My grandpa was the firstborn son to his dad, and they were left-handed. And my grandpa was left-handed. My great-grandpa, my grandpa. I can't go back any further. I didn't know. But then my dad was left-handed. And then my brother Ron, the firstborn son, was left-handed. And then I had the firstborn Anderson son in Brandon, was left-handed. And we did everything we could to make Small Hank a left-hander. But his mom wanted him to be a right-hander, and she was with him more, and she worked with him. And he ended up as an awkward right-hander. You could tell he was born to be a left-hander, and he may end up. But, traditions are so amazing. And when you have a tradition like that going, but see, it doesn't matter if you're right-handed or left-handed. What matters is we've got in my grandson, Small Hank, someone to carry our name on another generation. And to tell you a story about what it meant to our family. My brother Russ, my sister Rhoda, she had 2 boys and 2 girls, but they were Thomases. My brother Russ, he had 5 daughters. So that's not going to carry it on. But when I was married and we had our first child, it was a boy. And we went from where we didn't know if they was even going to make it, because right towards the end, everything started going bad. We had to go in for an emergency cesarean. But they made it, And I called my dad when he was born. My mom and Ron was on the way up to sit with me because I was going nuts. And I called my dad. And I'm going to try to get this out. But I was very sentimental, and I told him, are you sitting down? He says, why? I said, you're a grandpa. He said, what do we have? And I said, a boy. I actually had 3 or 4 people come to the phone because I started crying so hard because my dad was on the other end of the phone crying. It meant so much to him that his family name was going to be carried on. Then when my son got married, got his my daughter-in-law got pregnant, and they went to Chicago when they could go, and they got tested to see what the baby was going to be. And I'm at the cemetery with my dad. My son told me to meet him there. he broke the news to me that the Anderson name was going to be going again. I broke down. And you can see, guys, I'm not faking these tears. I'm very sentimental in that. But see, that's when families were families, and that's to show the care and the love that we had for each other. And that's the one thing, kids, I can ask you to do. And I went a long time because I was talking about other things and the kids and everything, but that concludes the kids portion of tonight. And now I'll catch my thing, and I get back smiling and laughing and that. But you know, the other night I talked about Michael, and I hope people kept praying for him. That was Friday afternoon. And then Friday evening, I did an afternoon because I wanted to watch the Bears game. Friday evening, my phone goes do 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 do. I answered it, and it was some of the women. They wanted to do a video call, so we did. And Michael came on it. To be honest with you, I thought he looked very well. He still needs our prayers, so let's keep him in our prayers. But things are starting to look up. As I was saying, this concludes the children's portion. This video is not made for children. No music. You can watch it under the supervision of your parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. Thank you, Mike. I like the picture that you send me of yours too, but let's R.I.P. Tater Chip. Oh, I want to, but anyway, also the music is for entertainment purposes only. We have no legal rights to it. And anything I say and talk about here, at the time I tell it, I believe it to be true. Now, where are we at? Slow. Very slow, but very close. And last night, I was on the phone until 5 o'clock in the morning with a gentleman from Africa. And the main reason we was on there is we were talking about the Zim. And I said, it's your country. What do you know about it? And he said, let me get to my friends and see what they know. And his friends came back and they said, living here, it's not worth as much for us it is for people in the United States. I said, really? And they said, yeah. And they said, we've contacted a couple of our friends in the United States and we've wired them some money. And him and his two friends, because of my phone call last night, or my message to him last night.
Nice kids.
My friends from Africa have decided they each took about $1,000 and sent the money to their friends and contacts in the United States and told them to get a hold of Banknote World and buy whatever they could get for the $3,000 that they sent them. And the guy says, well, wait a minute. If I'm going to buy it and have it sent to me, what do I get out of it? And they said, well, you're the one that's going to have to go to the redemption center. You're the one that's going to have to cash it in. And you're the one that's going to get treated really, really good because there's 3 of us buying and we're going to split it 4 ways. So I explained to him about humanitarian projects. And he said, well, if it's everything that you've sent me, Ralph, if it's true and everything, if it's not, we all lose $1,000, right? And I said, exactly. I said, we got to remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I know. He says, look, my guys were all over this. They have been waiting and wanting to know more about this. And you filled me in on everything tonight. So just think about the lives that could be changed because I was willing to stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning last night talking to this guy. He has sent me 10 different messages today. We hadn't talked in over a year because he had changed jobs and I'd lost his contact information. But I'm not telling anybody to go out and buy him. I did see him on I seen him on eBay the other day. A couple days ago, I seen him where you could actually buy 100 trillion one for $94. Now, to me, $94 is expensive because when I bought ours, I got them a long time ago before they got hot. And when I first bought 100 trillion for Ron and me and my brother Russ, all three of us got one. I didn't even spend $94 for 3 100 trillion notes. But that's us. We was in the right place at the right time. Remember, I can tell you the story that I had a chance to buy Bitcoin for 1/2 penny a piece. Me and Ron decided, no, we took the money Ron had and we bought Iraqi dinar, which I just brought this right into the Iraqi dinar, see, because the Iraqi dinar is ready to go. And you know what that means? If the Iraqi dinar is ready to go, then we're ready to go. And they say the proof is in the pudding. And people, they say the proof is in the pudding. But then I had the distinction because I made that comment. I made that comment on a show on TikTok the other night when they was really getting on me because I know what I know because of you guys. I know what I know because you guys get me all this information because I'm a lazy butt. Why do I need to go looking stuff up when I got Janet and Gary and Russ and Mike and Ron and John and Myrna? I mean, Myrna's sending me stuff all the time. Everybody's sending me stuff all the time. I just sit back and drink my cool beverage and I do what I need to do. But here's some proof. Please note, heads up. Please note that as September 1st, White House tours are paused until further notice. If you already scheduled a tour, you should have received a cancellation notice directly from the WH. Please give our office a call with any questions or concern. I'm going to call that number tomorrow, not because it canceled my thing. I'm going to see if they can put me in touch with the presidency because I'm a little bit upset with him because one of our patriots, Patriot Savior, sent him a registered letter. But, a lot of the people, when you're sending registered letters from a certain place, they're not white hats. And I'm afraid that's what happened is they never sent it. She paid money to get that letter sent. There should be proof that it was received. Now, if he's not answering, that's on him. But who knows? Now that I got this number, I might just give that a call tomorrow. Here's another note. Good morning to you all. I guess we are starting Monday off with a bang. I guess Iraq is serious about meeting the August 31st deadline. The U.S. decided to withdraw all of its forces from their military bases in Iraq ahead of schedule. X.com. Just in, U.S. suddenly decides to withdraw all of its forces from AIN, ALASSAD, and Victoria military. Now, last night, as I said, I was talking to this gentleman in Africa, but I was also looking at other things that me and him was chatting, and someone sent me someone put a video. I believe, Myrna, was it you? Did you put the video up about the weird guy? Talks real funny, white hair with a ponytail. Who is that, Ron? Yeah, Frank 26.
Oh.
Frank 26 was talking, and that man is a hoot. To listen to him, he's a hoot. He is all over the place. Got to show you his screen, got to do this, laughing and joking. He's in Hawaii, beautiful area he's in. And I mean, but he said he got a phone call from a guy, and the guy he says, well, I'm going to break some news tonight. And he was going to break the news about we're pulling out of Iraq. And they were talking, and he says, can I give this news? Can I give the news? And the guy said, yeah, go ahead and give it. And he says, really? Do you know what that means? And the guy says, yes, I know what it means. It means that, hey, truthfully, are we there? You and I both know, right, Vicky? We know that they're going to come up with some other thing. Hi, Lady Anita. But the thing is, they can't keep coming up with excuses. Their excuse-itis is just about ready to get a big dose of Donald John the Hat. And when they get that dose, we're going to hear what we want to hear. We're going to see what we want to see, and we're going to get what we want to get. And I'm looking at other things, and I'm listening to Frank 26. And then today we get a notification. We get a notification from Patriot Diane with 2 N's. And when I say N, I mean the letter N, because when I say it, it sounds like I'm saying N's. And I don't want people to think that Diane's walking around with 2 N's. Well, I guess she does, one on each side, and a little crack up. Oh, is she going to give me on that one? Nah, she don't, because she don't watch our show no more. She's too busy out getting other things. Okay. Hi, Russ. Hi, John. Hi, Myrna. Hey, you didn't say hi to me. Servita, you didn't. I said hi to you. No, I'm just joking. But anyway, I tried to get on the show today that she sent. It was for TNT Tony. I went and I got my all X account all set back up because I forgot my password. So I had to get a new password, and I was able to get in there. And I go to his site and remind me, and they never reminded me. It says you can't be reminded because you're not qualified or justified or whatever fied from him. So I tried to get that, and they wouldn't allow it. So I said, well, I'm going to take a nap. I'm not going to worry about it. But I sent her a message, and I said, Diane, I was unable to get on, but thank you for trying. But I know you're going to take notes, and I know you're going to help me. And here's what she said. Okay. He said, Iraq told him today, we were going today. The banks are quiet today. All the rates are on the bank screens. He expects 800 numbers tonight. He said, it is on the move, but we are just waiting. Then he says, the treasury is on the go. Wait for the banks now. Our troops are coming home from Iraq. Great news. Yes, it's great news. And I'm going to add to the banks. And I'm going to give you some information about my little hack bank that I banked in for many years. They shut down Friday, Saturday. They opened back up at 8 o'clock this morning. They shut down because they had to make adjustments to their bank. When I called over there, when I got the notification, I said, could you tell me why we're shutting down? Because I really need to come to the bank Friday. And the girl told me, Ralph, you better get over Thursday then, because we're shutting down. We have to do this. We have to get some adjustments made. And I said, wait a minute, you just shut down 2 months ago to get some stuff made. We didn't meet qualifications. We have to get this done this weekend. We have to get this. Now, she won't tell me anything. And I'm not one of these, personally, I don't like to blank. I don't get along with the bank manager. The people there I get along with are really nice. But the bank manager, he's one of these young kids who think that when he sits down and takes a number 2, he thinks it don't stink. So I believe, personally, myself, 100%, I believe that we're right on the verge of everything we want. I really do. What do you think, David Duffy? Myrna, did you go camping over the weekend? This weekend should be a good weekend for you to go camping too. 3-day weekend. And there again, guys, we're right on the verge. They've always said we're going to go on a 3-day weekend. Yesterday was Memorial Day in the Ukraine. Did you know that? And I was on one of them shows on TikTok last night. And I love to go in and instigate these people that don't like the white hats. They don't like the hat supporters. They don't like people like me and you because, see, we know and we care. where all they want to do, see, they like to go on and shoot their big mouths off. You know what I mean? They just like to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. But boy, when they get someone to come in and know something, oh, they run as fast as you can. They don't want to talk to you because And there was a lady on the other night, and man, she got mad at this lady because they asked the guy. She got mad at the guy because the guy asked her a question. She answered it, and the guy tried to make fun of her. And oh, that was the wrong thing to do. This lady, she'd have my vote for president if she run. So did you hear the latest? Since things just pop in my head. Maybe that's because I'm simple. But when I said she's going to run for president, did you hear the latest? That the hat is thinking about running as a vice president the next time. I mean, when I look at things, the way I look at things, I have to laugh because, see, in my mind, he's not doing the things so far that we're seeing that he promised that he'd do. And what is always their answer? He's doing them. You just don't see them. Right, Lady Anita? Lady Anita. I should start calling my niece that. Her name's Anita, and she is a lady, I think.
She's getting old, man.
Yeah, she's getting old. She got a kid getting married. But we won't talk about that. Mm-hmm. I wanted him to marry someone else. But it is what it is, and you have to honor him for falling in love. Why must he be a teenager in love?
Somebody's thirsty.
Elaine is talking about XRP. Ron was telling me today, and he was excited when he was telling me this. He was telling me today about XRP, that he watched a video. Listened to a video. And he listened to it, and they said XRP is going to totally explode. They're saying it could get a number and 8 zeros after it?
Yeah.
It could make the coin that's got a little bit on it, it could make them look silly. And hear me, I'm just hoping it goes to where we get some money. But no, they're saying that what's going to happen, that Mike Davis, I'm pretty sure you got some XRP, don't you? Anybody else? Vicky, do you have any? Gary?
Well, we know one person that does.
Who's that?
Marianne.
Marianne's got it, but Marianne's not on tonight. The reason I was asking if you had XRP is because what Ron said that they're going to do is when you go to the bank, he says, don't be the bank might offer you $100,000 for an XRP for one. See, because what he's saying, banks can't buy. They can't go out and buy it. They can't go to the thing and buy it, which, to me, that's silly because you can always get someone to buy it, take it in, and they can buy it from them for a whole lot cheaper, but I don't know. And, I'm going to go try to find that because I'd like to listen to it and hear more. But we have been lied to so much. But then again, we have to be lied to because you can't tell people what's going to happen because they'll stop it before. When you stop and think about it, don't you think that General Custer wished that he, instead of going, he went to Little Bighorn or something? Don't you think he would have rather told them that he was going to the Saskatchewan River? They could have been waiting for him then, and he'd have just crossed Little Bighorn. And see, and that's what the hat's doing. He's telling you that we're going to be over here, that we're going to do it on this date. But see, guys, they're getting really, really picky, really, really fussy. Because now they're shutting people up. They don't want you talking rates. I don't talk rates. I don't care about rates. Papa G, what did me and you talk about? If we just get a dime on every dollar of everything we got, we're going to be happy. When you pick something up, when I picked up my first $100 trillion worth of Zimbabwe Zim, the people told me this is for entertainment. And I said, okay, then I'll get a picture frame and I'll put, mine and my two brothers in a picture frame, or I'll get one for each one of us. I'll put one in each picture frame, and I'll put up at the top, I'll say, what could have been? Dreaming. We're always dreaming. Because if you stop dreaming, you might as well stop living. I was talking to someone the other day, and this lady that I was talking to, she's a very beautiful woman. She's a very nice woman, but she doesn't like to smile. And I challenged her. I was talking to her, and she said, Ralph, it's been nice talking to you, but I got to go to bed. And I said, okay, but I want you to do me a favor. And she said, what? I said, before you go to bed, and you got to promise me you'll do this. And she said, what do you want? I said, before you go to bed, I want you to walk into your bathroom. You're going to brush your teeth before you go to bed anyway. She said, yes. So once you walk in there, go to the bathroom, do your chores, brush your teeth. And as soon as you brush your teeth and you're done rinsing, look at that mirror and say, I am a beautiful woman, and smile at mirror. And when you get up in the morning, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to get up and smile. And I want you to say, I am a beautiful woman, and I'm going to make it a point to smile at least 10 times today. If I go out, I'm going to make it a point to try to make at least 3 to 5 people smile just because I say something nice to them. And then I got a call from her, a message from her later on. We got talking, and she said, oh, by the way, I did that. And I make it a daily routine now that I do that, and I feel better. I feel better now that I'm smiling. And Bill Woods and I was going to say amen, but that was Bill saying it. Mike Davis, Vicky, David Duffy. Don't you feel better when you smile?
XRP is down at 287 now.
XRP is down at 287. Now, there is a reason, guys. Ron also said that they said the reason it's lingering somewhere in that area, up around $3, is they're giving people a chance to go buy some. Now,
we're not financial advisors.
I'm just going to say that we're not professional advisors. I just tell you what I'm hearing from others, what I'm hearing myself. What they're doing is they're trying to, would it have been better to buy it at 30 cents a piece like Ron and me did? Yes. You could have bought like we did. But even at $3 a piece, if you take $51 or $45, you can get 15. 15, if they go to $100,000 a piece, what if they go to $5,000 a piece?
What if they go to $600,000?
As Ron said on that audio that he listened to today, what if they go to $600,000 a piece? And I know that sounds far-fetched. Remember,
you also get interest on it.
Remember, I had a chance to buy Bitcoin at 1/2 penny a piece. You think that if anybody ever would have told me that if I would have bought it and kept it and kept it and kept it, it would go over $115,000 for one? I'd have racked up all the money I could. I'd have bought as much as I could. And then all of us could be sitting here and I could help everybody. We could say, we don't care how long it takes because we're all going to have money. And that's the beautiful thing of this. We have everything right at our fingertips. Isn't that right, Maria Camacho? That's okay. No. Maria says, hi, Ron and Ralph. I heard Bolivar is getting too big. Someone asked if Dong and Dinar was the highest, and the guy said on the show, no, Bolivar. There's a lot of mixed reactions from what I'm hearing. Maria, if you would have been on the show back when I bought Bolivar, man, I was promoting it. And I am not, as I said, I am not a financial advisor. But there's a lot of people on this show, some of them that aren't on the show anymore. They went, as the song said, they went their own way. Why? I don't know. Why? I mean, I thought they'd stay with me. Why? Why? Because I love them. But anyway, I heard back then when I first started buying that Boulevard was going to go for at least $18 to $30 for one. And back then you could buy them for a song and a dance. You know, a lot of people have bought a lot of them. At the redemption centers, I know we get the contract rate for the dinar, and I've heard it could go as high as $30 to $40. Myself, I'm hoping Boulevard is the highest one. I really am, because I have a whole lot more Boulevard than I have dinar. But I will make a prediction that when this goes, you're going to get way more for whatever you bought than what you paid for. The people who have the opportunity, and I mean, there's people on the show that they don't believe in it. They've never bought any of it, and I respect them. But what I even respect more, that they don't believe it, but they've never said anything bad to me about it. But the other thing I like is because they're going to have their own quantum account, so they're going to be well off too. And that's why, and I brought that up because that's why I always said the quantum account is important, because if we would bring that out first, and I'm going to bring Maria, I'm gonna use you. So I'm assuming you have Boulevard, and I'm assuming if you get a really nice return for me, you're going to be very, very well off. But see, if we get our quantum accounts first, if everybody in the United States and around the world get their money, why is anybody going to pay attention to you, Maria, to me, to Ron, to whoever's going to the redemption centers to get their revaluation done? No one's going to pay attention. Sure, we're going to be protected by the military. Sure, we're going to be protected by everything that's going on. But the fact still remains, if everybody's got money, they're not going to be looking. Well, if Ralph goes and buys a new house, people ain't going to say, well, where did he get the money? He's on Social Security.